tip 2, when you notice, you need to be kind and compassionate with yourself. So what tends to happen, as I said before, when we notice, we kind of go, oh my God, all this stuff is going on in my head and I'm saying all these things, and quite often they are not very nice things to ourselves. We kind of bully ourselves up in here. A lot of us do. So what I'm suggesting here is that when you recognize that, if that thought comes up, to be kind and compassionate with yourself. So recognize that it's a good thing, but then also be curious. So being kind and compassionate is about opening up your curiosity and letting the judgment go. So don't judge that it's bad that you're saying all these things, because that's not going to help. That's just going to keep you stuck there. That's going to keep you going round in circles. And we've all done that, haven't we? You get into this cycle of, negative stuff going on in here, feeling bad, trying to do stuff, feeling worse because it's not getting done. Then you're beating yourself up, and all that stuff kind of goes on a regular basis. So what I'm saying is simply recognize that, notice that, as well as noticing what the thoughts are. Notice that, I'm starting to get judgmental about that, and just go, isn't that interesting? My favorite words, that's fascinating, and isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that we notice that, or we say that to ourselves? Because it is really interesting. If I ask most of you, and I did this to myself, if I said the stuff that I was saying to myself to other people, I'd be horrified. I just wouldn't do it. It's not in most of our makeup. We're much more supportive and encouraging and empowering of other people than we are of ourselves.
Yeah.
So, be kind, be compassionate, which means be curious. Don't judge.
Yeah, which is easier said than done. But again, presumably it must get easier.
It does get easier because you start to notice more often. And actually, sometimes in the noticing, you get fed up with noticing that you're being horrible to yourself.
That's all right.
And that might be what changes. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's more about that. Oh, okay. The more you notice, the more you can do about it. But then actually, the less frequently, when you notice, the less frequently some of that stuff, the less frequent it becomes, some of the negative stuff. So it's really, it's a really interesting way of being kind to yourself and doing something that's not pushing, forcing, trying to struggle. Absolutely rewires your brain. Yeah. Because what you're doing is telling your subconscious, actually, I'm looking for something different now. You keep filtering out this stuff or getting rid of it or distorting it. And I'm keep thinking that this is the way things are. Well, actually, now I'm noticing that it's not. And what that starts to do is bring evidence to the fore of things where, maybe to the contrary, that so you're thinking that you are a certain way and you always act in a certain way and things always happen to you in that way. As soon as you start to question and get curious about that, what you'll start to notice is that evidence will pop up for the complete opposite, because it's been there all along. It's been in our awareness. Well, not in our conscious awareness, but it's come into us. It's just that it's like an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is your conscious awareness, about 5%. All of the rest of the iceberg, 95%, is your subconscious, is under the surface, if you like. And what that does, you're right, is it allows some of that other stuff to come up, which means it's starting to rewire your brain. So that you'll start to look for and start to believe and expect different things, which means you'll take in and become more aware of the opposite sometimes for what you have been. If it's all been doom and gloom and negative, it's not going to change overnight. But noticing and being kind to yourself absolutely will help.
Yeah. And Sarah's saying that she noticed with that health or anxiety that she no longer went straight to the worst case scenario.
Excellent. And that's what you need to celebrate. It's the little steps, it's the changes that you notice that you need to celebrate. And that's about being kind and compassionate to yourself. So it's a twofold thing. It might be practical things that you can do, but also it's simply that, okay, yeah, I don't need to be hard on myself. Where's that? I wonder where that's coming from. So just ask with curiosity rather than judgment. Oh God, there I go again with all that stuff going on.
Yeah.